There we go. So where we left off was you said that your one of your friends had called you from Baltimore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you said I. You probably should start from there.
No, that ain't where we stopped off at.
I know, but it's on a different video.
Okay. What I'm saying, Fred, is a lot of people think that I'm not being truthful about 1973 and 1965. Mm-hmm. They think I know more than what I'm telling you, what I'm telling other people that question me about that. Mm-hmm. They think because of my popularity in boxing, in the music world, being with all the music giants, Biggie King, Bobby Bland, Marvin C., and Millie Jackson, all of them, they think that I know more than what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. So Captain John, he said to me, he said, I heard all your interviews with Barbershop Fred and Conversation Fred. He said, but in my opinion, knowing you, you are not telling him the whole story. He said, I heard Ali's story. Ali told him more than when you told him. I said, but you got to understand this. Ali come out of 25. I came out of 12. So if you look at it, no matter what they think I know, Ali's got to know more than me because he was there. He was there as a young junior FOI when it went down. So would you agree that Ali should know more than I know?
I'm not going to say I would agree because you had a relationship with Mustafa. So I wouldn't agree that he would know more. I would agree that he may have visually seen more, but he probably wouldn't. I would argue that he would know more because he was younger. He's younger than you. He's like, what, 13 years younger than you?
12.
12, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But what I will say, and he told you that Mustafa was the guy, right?
Yeah.
Didn't Ali tell you that?
Yes.
And did you take it? You know Ali gave you his word, and yeah. did that rat bastard John Ali tell you the same thing?
No. He told me that he knew Malcolm X was going to die. He also said that I don't know why people praise him so much, and he somewhat admitted. I got to play the clip for you. He admitted that that he had some take in it, like or that he had the information or something like that.
But let me tell you what that rat bastard didn't tell you. John Ali. This went on. This began when we really got the words. Something my mama never told you. Yusuf Shaw, the captain, Malcolm's captain, who portrayed Malcolm and tried to have him killed 3 or 4 times before it actually happened. Yusuf Shaw was from Detroit, Michigan. Malcolm brought him in. Malcolm was in before John Ali and all of them. Malcolm was in. Here's what happened. Now I'm going to give it to you straight. I don't care who don't like it because I fear no one but Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I come out of number 12. What you don't know, that Yusuf Shaw asked a brother, and this brother's still alive. I'm going to try to get hold of the brother. I'm going to go uptown. He ain't too far from your cousin. I'm going to go uptown. He was one of the brothers that Yusuf Shaw because he was in the air, he was in the special forces in the army. Before he came in the nation, he knew about them explosives. He asked this brother to wire Malcolm's car. And the brother went and told Malcolm. That's a 2-part in the movie. The brother went and told Malcolm. Malcolm's partner that he went to jail with, Jarvis, told him about these brothers. Jarvis got word from a cop that he knew that John Ali was a rat. Yusuf Shaw knew that John Ali was a rat because Yusuf Shaw's wife Sister Sylvia, her brothers, this public knowledge for you to back me up. Her brothers was a lieutenant and sergeant in the police and the Philadelphia Police Department. Yusuf Shaw's wife come from Philadelphia. And Ali Muhammad was standing on that. And Aaron Snowwell, because he talks to them a lot. And the son will tell you, because I'm going to tell you why Yusuf Shaw hated Malcolm in Croston, because Yusuf Shaw beat up his wife and Malcolm put him out. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad overruled Malcolm and brought him back in and said, brother, it's just a misunderstanding in life. So that showed you that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was contradictory. He knew that John Ali was a rat, but he used John Ali to get information to what they was asking him about him. John Ali played both sides of the fence. He played Elijah's side and he played Jericho Hoover's side and the Carl Protel. So when you understand it, the three main players was Yusuf Shaw, John Ali, and John Ali. Those were the main players.
You said John Ali twice.
Yeah.
So you said Yusuf Shaw, John Ali, and who else? You said three.
And Captain Yusuf Shaw. Those were the main players. They used Minister James, who was I'm pretty sure Ali told you about his Minister James Shabazz. Yeah. He was powerful. He shouldn't have been nothing no more than a lieutenant assistant captain. He became minister because he was in jail in Mare Lane federal penitentiary with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in the 40s. And when Yusuf Shaw was mad because Malcolm told the Honorable Elijah Muhammad business, Betty told him that this was coming. Minister Jeremiah told him, this is my minister now. I want people to understand this, please. It is what it is. Mustafa did it. I said it. I know he did it. Ali bear witness, but I let Ali told you first, and I'm picking back, then I know that he did it. So now they got it from me. But here's the problem. It was a conspiracy. See what John Ali didn't tell you, they started a conspiracy. The two daughters, Lottie and Esther, and Raymond Sharif, who was the supreme captain, he had no power. He couldn't get nothing done out of Chicago. Junior came into the Manhattan Center, where they got the press conference at right now, and said, you let this red nigga talking about my father, I want his tongue on a platter. That got Mustafa and all them hyped up. 25. See, Ali didn't have no power then. He was a junior soldier. I had more power then than Ali. See, Ali was a young teenager then, a young soldier. So what happened was the brother that did the firebomb at the house, he's still alive. God is punishing him. He got cancer in his brain and he got colon cancer. So he all messed up. God is punishing him. Let him live and let him suffer. The brother that did the firebomb at the house, 7 days.
And what's his name?
Ahmed Salam, that's his new name. I don't remember his slave name. Ahmed Salam. He was one of the brothers, aka Ahmed Salam. He was one of the brothers that did the firebomb. Now, when Minister James, you know when Minister James came on, watch the tape. Minister James came on. Fred, you know, if you watch the tape, when Minister James said that when Malcolm was speaking about Kennedy, he was speaking for himself. That showed you that Elijah really called the shots, bro. If you look at the dynamics, John Ali was in Chicago. John Ali was supposed to be at the press conference. He in New York the day that it went down. He in New York. So he orchestrated it. They used Farrakhan and they sent Farrakhan to Newark. Farrakhan did that Sunday message at temple number 25. Now, James Shabazz, you look at the picture, where's James Shabazz? He's the minister. So what they did, Fred, if you watch it and you look at all the tapes, Farrakhan was in Newark, James Shabazz in New York. Why couldn't Farrakhan, see Farrakhan had took over from Malcolm in New York. But that day they switched. James Shabazz went to New York. And they went to Farrakhan and they used Farrakhan. They made Farrakhan hype him and Farrakhan talked about it. That's how it went down, Fred. Because all those guys that was involved was James Shabazz, the lieutenant. Mustafa was a lieutenant. And Ali from back then, and all the old timers in Newark that's still around that was in 25 in 1965, they'll tell you that they hated Malcolm. That's what went down. You cannot tell me that some in those days went down, and John Ali didn't want to tell you, but he knew. And I believe, Fred, that Elijah gave the order. I believe Elijah gave the order. He said he didn't give the order. But what he did, he created an atmosphere because he knew that James Shabazz had the brothers that would do it. Whatever orders came out of Chicago, they would do it. But see, the difference with my mosque, nobody controlled Minister Jeremiah, even Elijah. Elijah was scared of Jeremiah Shabazz because we had real gangsters in number 12. So they couldn't use number 12 because Malcolm never did that to us. Malcolm opened the doors in Philadelphia. Why would we want to take him out? Why would the brothers before me want to take him out? Malcolm was good to them brothers when he had nothing in Philadelphia before he became popular. When John Ali told you in that 10-hour interview from sun up to sundown that why is we taking care of Malcolm today? Why Malcolm is more popular than Elijah? Because Malcolm built the nation. When Betty told you this before she passed, may Allah go in her paradise. When Malcolm come out to minister, Malcolm come out to penitentiary in 52, there was only 5 or 6 mosques. When Malcolm died, it was like 32 or 33 mosques around the country. So when you got a guy, you should have known then that he was part of the orchestration of Malik al-Shabazz death. That rat bastard that you were with 10 hours, John Ali, who in Philadelphia now with his daughter. See, he got a son in Reading, Pennsylvania. That's why Aaron Snowell trying to get over. Because when he was up at the camp with Ali, see, Ali didn't trust him. But Ali didn't worry about him because he had Jeremiah and all us with him at that time. So at that time, when John Ali came to the camp, he lucky we didn't take him out. At that time, I'm telling you on record, I wanted to take him out because while he orchestrates them, because he was a rat. In my world, we don't deal with rats. You dealt with him because that's what you do. You're a journalist. But you will not see his face in nowhere walking the streets. Even today, 59 years after 1965, this Negro won't walk the street, bro. You see what I'm saying, bro? This how it went down. I'm telling you, and I'll die on what I just said. Allah be my witness. Allah be my shahid. Alhamdulillah, rabbil alameen. So you got the whole story. I'm backing up what Ali told you and what other brothers told you. That's what went down. Yusuf Shaw, James Shabazz, and John Ali with the orchestration. And they had to get it out of Chicago. I don't have proof that they got it from the old man, but I know they got it from Junior, because Junior came in here and said it. If you get the tape from the Manhattan Center, public knowledge from 1965, you'll see it. And Junior came into the Manhattan Center. It's in the archives of the Daily News and the Post and the Amsterdam News. So now you see what I'm saying, Fred? Now you get the full story, how they orchestrated. That's how they orchestrated, brother. So Allah knows best, and that's how they orchestrate. You got any more questions, President, concerning that?
Yeah. The you said the players, the gentleman that bombed the house in the week before, right?
Right.
On Valentine's Day, right? I think it was
Right.
Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Have you had conversations with him?
I haven't talked to him since Elijah's funeral, Elijah Janaz in 75. See, I had love for Malcolm. You know, he was all right with me, but my loyalty was to Minister Jeremiah. Whatever Jeremiah and the captain at that time was Shamsuddin Ali, who is still alive. I'm going to try to get him to talk to you. He's Mike Tyson's current father-in-law. He's Kiki's father. He knows more than I know because he was the captain at that time in Philadelphia. If you listen to any Elijah's speech, he said Philadelphia is the top of the clock, 25 is the cornerstone, 7 is at the bottom. So when you look at that, Fred, that's the dynamic of what went down. Now, the last time I talked, I know brothers that see that brother, you know, he's Fred, the brother real sick, man. God is punishing him. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Any other question, my brother, concerning 1965? You got it from me today. You pulled it out, Fred.
Now, you also mentioned to me that you had whereabouts of his mistresses that you never that I never got a chance to speak to.
Well, Fred, they don't really want to talk because, you know, you still got those haters out there. And I don't think we should put these last 2 sisters in jeopardy. They are in their late mid-70s now. I don't think we should put them in jeopardy. I think you should get it all from Yusuf Shaw's son, Yusuf Jr. I think because of that, we should do what is necessary. Now that you got it from me and Ali, you need to get it from everybody. And you need to ask Ali Muhammad, to put you with all the brothers that was close to Mustafa, that was part of that scenario when it first was being talked about. That's what you need to do. So you have the full scope of how we got from November 63 to February 21st, 1965. See, you don't know what led up to that. See, John Ali and them created the scenario, him and the 2 sisters, Esther and Lottie. Malcolm trying to take over the nation. Malcolm trying to take over the nation. Because Malcolm was more popular. Even you know, Fred. Nobody talks about Elijah today but Farrakhan. Am I right or wrong?
Yes.
Everybody talks about Malcolm. All the brothers from Philly talk about Minister Jeremiah and Mike's father-in-law, Imam Shamsuddin. At that time, he was the captain in 65. He was the captain. So when you look at the dominance, the 2 daughters created this, Fred. They created the scenario. And then they created all Malcolm trying to take over the nation. Malcolm doing that. And they told Yusuf Shaw, the creator of dominance in Temple number 7, 116th and 11th, create a dominance. And we'll bring him down. Over here, brother. Bathroom this way, brother. Brother. This way. Go around. Bathroom is over here. My brother, take a look. ¿Qué pasa? Hola. Turn. So when you look at the dominance of it, a lot of them created. When they come home, when Imam walked in and come home, the sister said to him, she said, these ministers coming here with fur coats on, Lottie and Esther wearing fur coats, diamond rings. We ain't supposed to do all that. So Malcolm brought that up And he's telling the Elijah Muhammad, how your daughter's doing that and other sisters can't do that. You see what I'm saying, Fred?
Yes.
They created the dynamics. All Malcolm trying to stay strict and take over the nation. The nation became like niggas on the corner in them days wearing big hats, walking down Lennox Avenue and St. Nicholas.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the nation became. I'm telling you this, and I'm standing on this because I was part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I did it in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
So well, you have to look at this phrase. The dynamics that the girls started. John Ali was the national secretary. He could get to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad quicker than anybody because he was the national secretary.
Right.
So they created this, and they knew that Yusuf Shaw was married, and they used Farrakhan and Yusuf Shaw. When they would set it up, they would bring Farrakhan up, let him speak in New York, let him speak in Newark, let him speak in Asbury Park. They would keep him in that region. So when it went down, they created a thing that, well, all ministers go to different mosques every other week or every month. They created that for the press. Now you see where I'm coming from, Brad?
Yes.
This was built from chickens coming home to roost. Coming home to roost was to get him out the door. Because they couldn't just put Malcolm out. So when he said that chicken come home to roost, see, he didn't do nothing wrong. The press asked him. The press came to him. He got through the lecture all right. And then the press said, he said, it's just like chickens coming home to roost. What did he say wrong? What did he do wrong?
Right.
Because 2 years earlier, they killed 4 little girls in the Baptist church in Birmingham.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying, Brett?
Yes.
They created a dynamic to kill this man. Then, if you look at it, Fred, did Ali explain to you what happened to Minister James?
Yes.
Ali told you what happened to Minister James, right?
Got his head blown off. Yes.
Minister James got it. The same way he shot that shotgun, he got the shotgun 8 years later in 1973, right in front of his house. The New World Order. They want to say, now I can't bear witness, but word was out that these guys was loyal to Betty and they was loyal to Malcolm. And they said Betty gave the order. I don't have no proof that Betty gave the order, Fred. Now, I'm saying to your listeners, I don't have proof that Betty gave the order in 1973 for Minister James. I don't have no proof. But what I will say, if you listen to the interview with Betty and Atala on Oprah when they was making the movie, Betty said the same way they signed it, the same way they got it back. Watch what Betty said on Oprah. That's public knowledge. So that's why a lot of people think that she had something to do with Minister James.
Right.
Or guys that loved her and Malcolm did it and kept her name out of it. Think about, watch that tape tonight or tomorrow when you ain't with your kids, Fred. Mm-hmm. Watch her speak on Oprah.
Right.
She said those that start the shotgun, they got the shotgun.
Mm.
So who else you talking about? Because Mustafa lived to be an old man. Who else you talking about but Minister James?
Right.
And John Ali was in hiding. And at that time, Yusuf Shaw had cancer. So at that time, Yusuf Shaw thought that they was coming to get him. The only thing saved Yusuf Shaw, he started working for Don King and Minister Farrakhan put soldiers around him and around Don. They weren't going to do nothing to Don because Don was in the penitentiary when that went down. But Yusuf Shaw was I love the captain because he was a Muslim, but he was a snake. Anytime you on your deathbed, you ask Allah to give you for your sin, but you say Malcolm X is still, it's a Benedict Arnold. What kind of answer for forgiveness is that? You still calling your brother a Benedict Arnold. Least Farrakhan made some steps. See, Betty wasn't no dummy. She knew that they used Farrakhan. When Farrakhan did that sit down with Mike Wallace with Atala, he said, I might have created the atmosphere, but I had nothing to do with the planning or the delivery of the final blow to your father. We know that they used Farrakhan. We know that. But Farrakhan would position himself because he know when Elijah go, he will become a spokesman. Y'all be Elijah Muhammad. And that's what happened. So you follow me now, brother?
Yes.
Next question.
Have you had any conversations with Yusef Shaw?
Yusef Shaw and I was together at every fight when he was working for Don King. He was with me and Aaron Snowell, Carl King. All of us had a relationship with Yusef Shaw.
Have you ever asked him anything
Oh, I
about?
answered. Oh, I told him to his face, and Don King, Carl King, everything all day. I said, I know you. I said, Yusef, I said, Brother Captain, I love you, but I know you crossed Malcolm. I know you crossed. Brother, I said, brother, you crossed Malcolm. A man that took you out the garbage can. You was doing grits and teas and drinking wine, drinking Booncorn wine in Detroit. And the clip that Malcolm got out the trash can and took you to chamber #1. And he said that on the roster himself, that Malcolm raised him. Let me ask you something, Craig.
Yes.
If my son working for you and he crosses you, then he was never your friend. Am I right or wrong?
Right.
So that shows you that, see, Malcolm didn't make Yusef Shaw captain in New York. Your Honorable Elijah Muhammad put him there, so couldn't nobody set him down. When he got mad at Imam Wardi Muhammad when he came in, because he dismanned the FOI. He dismanned all that. He said, oh, y'all got to get a job. He told his sisters, if your husband ain't got a job, they got to go get one. That's why he sold everything and took care of them outside children. Imam Wardi Muhammad did that, and may Allah grant him paradise.
Right.
Bruh, if you understand this, Yusef Shaw told me out of his own mouth, bruh, and I put my children's life on this, that Malcolm was a Benedict Arnold. He got what he deserved. He told me this. We was down in Atlantic City, and I was so mad at Yusef Shaw. This was as when Spike was making the movie. Spike was making the movie, and we down in Atlantic City for Mike Tyson, Alice Stewart. We down in Atlantic City in December. I think it was 90. It was about 6 months before. When did George Foreman fight Holyfield? 91?
It was the early 90s. I know that.
Yeah. And we were down in the city, and that's when that jumped off. Fred, that's when that jumped off. And because Carl King and tell you he had to pull me and you Shaw apart. I said, man, you a snake, bro. I love you because you're a Muslim. But you crossed Malcolm. Don fired him. Once Don got this whole story, Don fired him. Don fired him. And he was serving pork chops for Don King. You wanted the national captain. You were the regional captain. And when you say it, brother, Fred, Captain Sam didn't really like him, but Captain Sam dealt with it. This Wallace's brothers, Nathaniel and all of them, they ain't like Yusef Shaw, because they loved Malcolm. They know Malcolm was straight up. They know their father was a snake. Nathaniel had a white woman down there in Kansas City selling dope. He said, man, my father's crazy. I'm hustling. That's a true story. That's public knowledge. You can go to the archives in St. Louis and Kansas City and pull up his police record. Had a white woman selling drugs, and he was selling drugs, Nathaniel, before he got himself together, before his brother came in. When his brother came in, Wallace, Herbert, Jr., all of them got on it sooner because Wallace wasn't playing with them. So that's what went down. Next question before we close out.
Have you ever had any dealings with Mustafa Muhammad?
What Mustafa Muhammad?
No, I mean X, William X. What's his name?
Mustafa, my guy. Mustafa was my guy. But as I said before, Fred, he was my guy, but he was more closer to Ali than that crew, because he come out of that crew. Oh, we would talk. Him and Sister Carolyn, they all showed me love and respect because they know my history with Minister Jeremiah.
Right.
I never had a problem with Mustafa. Always showed me respect. He know that I know about 1965. He know that I know. But we never went there because he got on it sooner. Imam Muhammad knew it, and even the mayor knew it. But you working for the mayor, and you don't know what's going on, bro? Let me tell you this, brother. God is my judge. This was crazy, Fred, how that went down. We got about 10 minutes before my car service comes.
Okay.
Next question. Let me go back to Mustafa for a minute. You remember that guy with Amy Goodman on the show Who Killed Malcolm?
Uh-huh.
That Muslim brother Abdullah?
Yes.
He came to Newark. Them brothers was gonna kill him. Mustafa was still alive then. Them brothers was gonna kill him in Newark. He didn't know he was being set up. I come down the street. Ahmed Muhammad, who worked for Carl and Don King, said we're gonna kill this nigga soon as he turned this corner. He around here trying to stir up trouble. A man been dead over 40 years at that time. He didn't know. So I come down the block. I said, no. I said, we don't do that in Islam. We're Muslim now. We ain't following Elijah. We don't do that. Leave that brother alone. If he think he's thinking what he's thinking, but he don't have no proof. He tried to get to Mustafa. Brothers told him. White folks told him in Newark, don't mess with that brother, man, because you might wind up in a box. That's why that Abdullah never went to Mustafa's house with Sister Calvin. They had the gym. He tried to sneak in the gym. Brother was watching. He was scared and knew him. He went to the mayor. The mayor knew who Mustafa was, but nobody really knew. You can't tell by the tape is that Mustafa. You can't tell by the tape. Only brothers that was there that know Mustafa knew. If Fred, I'm pretty sure you watched the tape.
Yes.
You couldn't really tell if that was Mustafa or not.
No, I can't tell.
But me and Ali knew that it was him.
Mm-hmm.
He knew that it was him. Allah give him grant him paradise and forgive him of his sin for killing his brother. But it is what it is. See, Fred, you can't blame the shooter. You got to blame the ones that ordered it and the one that created the diamonds. So you got to blame Elijah, John Ali, Yusuf Shaw, Minister James Shabazz, and the two sisters, Esther and Lottie. And Captain Raymond Theresa, he didn't have no power. He was supreme captain. He didn't have no power. Yusuf Shaw had more power than him. I had more power than him in Philadelphia. He was the supreme captain. So all those guys were just on the payroll, bro. They was on the payroll. So if you got to watch that tape, Fred, so you can see where I'm coming. Betty Shabazz said those that shot the shotgun, they got the shotgun. Who else she talking about but James Shabazz?
Right.
And Ali told you that.
Right.
He was in the community, and Ali was a young soldier.
What's your relationship with James Shabazz?
He knew all the street guys. What'd you say, Brother Fred?
What's your relationship with James Shabazz?
I hated that motherfucker, man. See, Fred, he had power in Newark, but he didn't have no power around the country. He hated Malcolm because Malcolm had all the lights and newspaper was on Malcolm. All the program was on Malcolm. If you read, you watched all the series. Every Malcolm doing all the interviews at major radio station, main network. Even Mike Wallace, all them interviewed Malcolm in the early 60s and 50s.
Right.
So Malcolm was a star. I don't know what John Ali talking about. Malcolm earned the praise these kids giving him. He earned it.
Right.
Who talking about Elijah? Elijah built a nation. He didn't build a nation. He opened the doors, but Malcolm built a nation. And the Imam Muhammad, his son, you see, his son didn't believe with his father because his father put his son out. And his nephew, Captain Raymond Sharif, son, he's still alive out there in Chicago. See, you notice Farrakhan never talked about John Ali. Only person he talked about from those was Captain Sam and Yusuf Shaw. He don't even talk about Yusuf Shaw no more. Farrakhan old now. He begging God to let him to paradise.
Right.
For his sins.
Right.
Last question, Fred. My car service
I
coming.
know. Warif D. Muhammad. Warif D.
Yes, sir.
Muhammad. I know you guys may have had extended conversations.
That's my brother, man. That was my guy.
Hmm.
See, Fred, let me tell you how we got close. He put me out. He came to Philadelphia, November 1976, said, we're going to remake the world. He said, I'm sending down all my captains, Captain Leon Muhammad, who's a known extortion artist, check casher, and a bar owner and a number writer. You're relieving your post. I'm not putting you out of the community. You got to fly right. He signed Minister Jeremiah down, but he signed Jeremiah to New York. He couldn't really set Jeremiah down because he knew he might have had some problems. Farrakhan got to Chicago because we were going to kill Farrakhan in New York. He was talking trash. So Jeremiah said he had to go. So he called Imam D. Muhammad. You know, Farrakhan went away for 2 years, went to the island, drinking wine with his wife. Then he came back and opened the door and said, I'm going to rebuild the nation. That's how that went down, brother. But Warif D. Muhammad was my guy. When I got back with Imam Warif D. Muhammad, Ali Muhammad, tell you the same story. Ali made me get up. Ali's son, Amir Muhammad, made me get up and said, brother, my father and I, we taking care of you. I was living in the shelter in Newark. I had messed up a lot of money, gambling, whatever. Got broke on my way to the federal penitentiary. He said, get up and go see the imam. Marad Muhammad, they pulled me out of my seat, said, you gonna go hug your brother. That's your brother. When he hugged me, he kissed me, he said, brother, I love you. I did what I had to do to get to where we at today. That was about a year before he passed.
You talking about Warif D. Muhammad, correct?
Talking about Imam Warif D. Muhammad, a.k.a. Wallace D. Muhammad, the baby son of Sister Claire and the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a.k.a. Elijah Pooh, from Sandersville, Georgia, born October 7, 1897.
Have you had conversation with Warif D. Muhammad about Malcolm X?
I asked him, we were sitting around, and I said, brother, he said, look at the works that I've done for Malcolm. I kept his name alive. I built that mosque up there in New York and put his name up there. My sister and them didn't want me to do it, but I did it because he earned it. He helped my father build the nation. Really, he built the nation after he come home. My father started, and Malcolm took it to a new level. You got to understand, all them street hustlers that came in, they knew Malcolm from his days as a pimp, number writer, and a big. And Farrakhan brought in all them Calypso singers, Nina Simone and all of them that was hanging around the nation donating. He brought all of them in. Malcolm had connection with RZD and all of them. And Willie Mays and all of them. Those was Malcolm's people. He used to come uptown to the Savoy and the small paradise. So everybody played his purpose. Jeremiah brought in all the gang war kids out of Philadelphia. Farrakhan brought in all the music people out of Boston. And Malcolm had New York. James Shabazz couldn't bring no superstars because Sarah Vaughan and Linda Jones, all them superstar singers that came out of Asbury Park, Billy Jackson, all of them, they didn't mess with James Shabazz. They went to the mosque to see Malcolm. See what I'm saying? That's what that is for. So, you know, it is what it is. So, you know, can I get a plastic bag, baby? Thank you. Hold it for me, baby. Thank you, honey. So you see what I'm saying, Fred?
Yes.
So now I'm gonna. You got one last final question? I'm going outside now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. You got one last final question?
Yeah. Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
Have you ever had any conversations with Muhammad Ali as it pertains to Malcolm X, and since you spent a lot of time with him?
Ali said to us, that move he made, for Sean and Malcolm, that was a mistake. Aaron Snowell, Murad Muhammad was right there. He said that was a mistake. That was a mistake. That was a mistake that he made. We good, brother?
Yeah.
I'll
Hold on for
call
a
you
second.
tomorrow.
Hold on for a second. Any final words you want to say to the people?
Wind your window down. Hold on, friend. Who you for? Huh? Leon Mohammed? Let me get my chair stuff. Open the trunk. That's my car service.
Okay.
I want to say, Fred, thank you. Appreciate you. God is merciful. And we'll close up after the fight, because the fight is coming. And we thank God for all those that came for those day and time.
Okay.
So, Fred, call me right back when I get in the car.
I will.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
All right.